We've all heard stories about people having second families back in the day. But now, if you could pull that off in 2025,
you're a spy. You're a full-blown spy.
Yeah. It's not moral, but you have a gift.
I'm actually proud of. I have a very strong bladder.
I'm considering getting diapers.
Now you're off the rails again. What's our next topic?
All right.
I feel like this is going to get better and better and better. The scam tactics.
It's not going to work with me.
Well, you have alligator arms anyway, so you're not going to be in a rush to pay anybody.
I'll know I've made it when someone breaks into my house, man.
I'll be sure to post your address.
Listen, I just want to make sure someone comes. There's going to be a security person waiting, but I just want to know that I'm doing well enough.
I had somebody do me really dirty one time with Instagram.
If she had at least given you head, would you have felt better? Would you have at least felt better about the situation? All right, you used me, but hey, it all worked out.
These messages were brought to you by Chiquita Banana.
Hey everyone, I'm Chloe Kaminskis, aka Chloe Monsta, along with your hosts Julia White and Joseph Bessie, and this is Everybody Lurks.
I love energy, and it puts I remember conversations where I was, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm big on energy. Did you know that? Energy.
You about to get weird on me?
No, I just said I'm big on energy. Okay. Energy and vibe and
I gotta
atmosphere.
Watch you. I gotta watch you, though.
An atmosphere.
I gotta watch you.
I just got back. Wait, but I wanted to tell you something. So I just got back from Vegas.
Okay.
Right? Las Vegas, in Nevada. And you've been there. And I'm coming back, driving back. This is big news. This is not weird. I don't think it is. I'm driving back, and I have to use the bathroom very badly. Right? And I had to use that very badly. And I don't know if you know this about me, but this was the first time I was forced to use a urinal. Never used a urinal in my life.
A standard urinal in a men's bathroom?
Yeah, never used one. And
I mean, neither have I, but
yeah.
Even as a kid, you never just...
Oh, no, definitely not as a kid. No, I've always been against urinals. And I will still stand.
Do you always have to sit down?
No sitting down. Absolutely not. I'm against that as well. I stand up. I like privacy, and I like being in a cleaner bathroom in general. And the bathroom's got to be clean anyway. Like, I look for a nice hotel. That's just standard. But even in a nice hotel, urinal... What?
You're struggling here. Come on.
What do you mean?
I'm pulling for you.
Yeah. No, I'm saying so in a urinal, you're next to a guy... a little too close. I don't like that. The urinal usually smells a little bit. You got some urine sprinkled, maybe a pube, and I don't want to be there. So, but yesterday was the first day I had to use one because I had no choice.
In your life?
In my life.
You use a urinal?
First time.
Okay.
And by the way, I had to jump. I was in there. I had to go to a gas station bathroom. Worst. Have you been in a gas station bathroom that was
Yes, I have.
And has it been like...
Where is your neuroses going? That's what I want to know.
I saw things I didn't know existed.
Really?
I couldn't even... Like, you've heard, like, it almost sounded like a stereotype or a cliche just to see... I mean, I'm talking about, like... I didn't even go further into the stall, but I saw the stall was, like, exploded with shit and toilet paper, stuff on the floor. There was vomit in one of the urine. It was next level. And then a dude came in from behind me. I got scared. He laughed. And then I said, I gotta pee. Peed on the urinal.
Yeah, I try to simplify this entire horrific experience. If it smells that bad, you just hold your breath, keep your eyes forward, don't look left to right, and get out of there.
No, I did. I just got a little nervous, but
right?
It was a lot for me.
That was quick and to the point, right?
Yeah, but you gotta aim too, bro. You can't just look
I got a general direction. I'm looking right here. I got a general direction. Once I'm up against the porcelain, I know where it's going.
Will you, if it's bad enough, because I couldn't because there was too many people around, but sometimes I'll just find a place to pee outside, no matter where it is. Will you do that?
I can see that, though. Yeah.
Have you done that?
I did that more, actually, when I had my daughter, to be quite honest. Like, I wouldn't want to take her into just a disgusting bathroom. So I, create little private.
But that must have been, that's got to be scary for you, because if someone does catch you, then that's a problem. Me, I can blend in a little more.
I don't make it a habit.
Yeah.
And it's got to be really atrocious. I think the worst bathroom I've ever been in was at a pumpkin patch in Ventura County.
Really?
It was a porta potty that just was like, why has this not been taken away, emptied? Was this left here since last Halloween?
How bad? What was it? Just smell or just everything?
Just backed up. Just, toilet tissue everywhere, soiled a lot, and it was like, as soon as we went in, I just had to hold my daughter up. I just held her up over it and just go. And she's like, Daddy, this is really bad. I said, I know. Just hold your breath, honey. Hold your breath. Just go.
And where did you go, like when you had to go?
I didn't. I held it.
Oh, you just held it.
I held it. I'm actually proud of. I have a very strong bladder. I'm not one of those kind of people.
Oh, see, I don't.
I can hold my stuff for a really good.
I'm considering getting diapers because I would rather go.
Now you're off the rails again. What's our next topic?
All right. So today we are going to be talking a little bit about SMS smishing, which is a lot of those weird texts that people get. Like, for example, one that you got, Jaleel. First of all, they said Jenny, which is just not your name. Will you come to my house for steak tomorrow night? Why does this happen? What are SMS scams? You've gotten one of these, obviously.
I get these all the time. I mean, this, what kind of pickup line is this to send to somebody out of the blue on their phone? Jenny, will you come to my house for steak tomorrow night? Does this work? Like what? And my favorites are the pictures of like the Asian women that just come right in and it's just hi there.
Yeah.
Those. And what?
Oh God, this is great.
I tried. You saw him. Oh man.
Hi there.
Just hi there. And it's just random Asian woman on my WhatsApp. And I'm like, I'm offended to what degree my number is just being passed around like this. Like, your phone number used to be a sacred thing, and now we've inputted into so many prompts that my phone number is just dirty.
Yeah.
And what's the end game for this type of marketing approach?
Right. So, well, initially the way that it gets out to people is that there are, just like you said, like you put your phone number into so many different sites and stuff like that. The likelihood of a data breach is pretty likely. And so also, if you're a public figure or you're a public user on Instagram, for example, it's a lot easier to access those records and stuff like that because you can look up like
they clearly don't know it's me. They text Jenny.
And
these two guys, can you lay off the laughing gas? We're trying to have a serious conversation about scammers here.
I'm trying. No, I just keep thinking about what you said. I'm sorry. Let me maybe chime in to help me. What do these people get out of it?
That's what I'm asking. What's the end game?
Yeah. What is the end
What
game?
is the other side? Is this like I'm not. This can't be a room full of Asian people. As a matter of fact, I would bet they were probably from another country entirely.
You think it's real Asian people, not Asian people creating the fake Asian people?
I think it's a room of scammers exploiting Asian likenesses is what I really think.
So it could be white people creating Asian bots.
Much more likely.
And that's diabolical.
Much more likely.
Or, by the way, it could be China, because China doesn't give a fuck about their own people.
Could be much more likely.
China would be the first to exploit Asian people.
I don't even say China on my phone. I don't.
Because why? You think they're going to come over?
I don't.
And buy your house?
I just figure that the recording's going to start. If I start.
Oh, it's already started, Jaleel.
If I say.
That's hilarious. And we know it's already started. But because I get sometimes those Instagram messages from like a girl, it'll say like, oh, I think you're hot. Like we met somewhere. And then of course, like, you know, not now, but back in the day, well, let me just see if this is real. Go to the page. Then it's like all these pictures. It's obviously fake, or it's like one picture. So I'm like, who's creating that? Now, if I respond, what happens? I don't get it.
Yeah, sometimes I respond just absolutely ludicrous if I'm in the right mood. If I'm in the
just as a joke?
Yeah, oh yeah. If I'm in the right mood, and this is not my real personality, but you know, I'm just like, you know, show me your bits. You know, I'm just I'll just respond with that, and they will persist in a normal conversation after that.
Now, I had a friend recently.
But I'm like, where's this going? I'm not giving him a credit card. Like, what are you doing?
But here's the thing. I had a friend that said something about the guy asked him, or I don't know if it was a guy, but whatever, asked, send me $1,000, right? And I'll send you back $1,500. Something like that. Okay, wow. Right? But here's the crazy part. So he does it, right? He gets back $1,500. So the guy's, okay, hey, give me $2,000. I'll make it 20, right? Does it again, gets back the $2,500. So it's working, right? Or a person thinks. Finally, of course, the guy gets him for like 10 grand. But he actually played the long game.
You know somebody who actually fell for this?
Well, I think, yes. I mean, I think, the person, might not have been as, let's just call it socially inept, to know this was 100% scam. It wasn't just like, send me $1,000. It was something like, invest in this or something. There was more of a game behind it. All right. It wasn't just like, send money. It was probably crypto, whatever, Bitcoin, whatever bullshit they say. But of course, me and you would know we're not sending fucking cash to some person we've never met in our lives. But just I guess that's what it is. But I don't know. It's just a little scary. But it's weird. I've gotten those weird messages. But it's not only from Asian women. It's sometimes from all races.
I'm consistently getting pictures of Asian women. So my stuff is popping in Korea.
Or it's reading your algorithm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
telling you
got to clear your history.
But yeah, basically what they're trying to do is they're just trying to get like any information, personal information, basically or they're trying to install malware on your computer phone.
That's what I want to make sure that I don't ever fall in the trap of is what little do you have to click on for the malware to be installed?
Any links they send you.
Any link.
Any link.
You're right.
That was just a joke. I'm not laughing.
You're dying here.
No.
You've been dying on your takes. You're dying on your breathing. You're dying on your drinking.
Man. Sorry.
What are you gonna say?
I had a crazy story with my sister where someone called my grandma in an AI voice as my sister and said, "I'm in jail right now. Can you send me $3,000 to bail me out?"
Gotcha.
And my grandma called the school, and the school went to my sister and was like, "Is she in class?" And they were like, "Yeah, she's right here."
Yeah, no, they definitely target people over a certain age.
Yeah.
What's the click average on?
So the click average on SMS texts is between 8.9% and 14.5%, while emails have an average rate of 2%. So obviously the SMS texts are a lot more effective in actually getting people to respond and click on the malware or give information and stuff like that. So it actually works on people, which is insane because...
That's almost 15%.
Yeah, which is
15
insane.
out of 100 people going, boop, right there.
And they're like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to,
But it's not shocking there's that many dumb people. I know. I'm always shocked when you meet a dumb person for real and you're like, oh, you're this dumb. That's always like a surprise. But at the same time, we know it exists. There's a lot of, people that are just not all there and they just click on shit because in the hopes of like this is their, I don't know, savior, or they hope this is like their one real booty call that's happening. I don't know.
I guess I don't equate it as just being dumb. I feel like this is going to get better and better and better, the scam tactics over time. Right now, they're still a bit insulting.
Not with me.
But I do think they're going to get better, especially with AI.
It never will.
Yeah.
It's going to get, I'm telling you.
You're going to have to AI a real person I know, and then, it's not going to work with me because I'm always a paranoid person, and so I wouldn't believe it.
Well, you have alligator arms anyway, so you're not going to be in a rush to pay anybody.
Wait, what does that mean?
You're not going to be in a rush to pay anybody.
Oh, alligator arms. Does that mean what? To whack off?
No.
I thought you meant like...
You've never heard the phrase alligator arms?
No, I never heard that.
Do alligators have long arms?
I guess now that you
a
say it,
humorous
no, they
term
don't.
to describe someone who is
They have a
held
lot
under
of
one.
arms.
So
right?
wouldn't you need long arms to reach into your pockets? But bump. There you go.
Oh.
All right.
So you're saying I wouldn't pay anybody?
I'm saying, yeah, that was the last
yeah.
thing you would be thinking at all is that I'm giving somebody my credit card over a phone.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I just know.
Yeah. No, for sure. I wouldn't do that. I'm just paranoid. I wouldn't think the person is into me if they're trying to... I wouldn't trust them. I would think that's why it's a scam.
Into you.
Like if you're saying, if it's someone who's flirting through AI or doing that.
Oh,
if
yeah,
it's just
that.
Trying to get, if it's just trying to get money, yeah, I guess. But even that, I wouldn't fall for it either. But I'm glad maybe it's good for these people who,
It's amazing because I will
hope.
say this: if there are a lot of scammers that are really leading with flirtation, it just shows you the number of people that are starved for attention.
Right.
If 8 to 14.5% of their attempts to reach out to someone like this are working.
I mean, do you think there's people that are so attention depraved that they're like, you know what? This might be a scam, but you know what? This could be my future wife.
Or they're that bored,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
They don't have anything going on that they're just looking to talk to someone.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
So maybe those people, some of the percent of the people are just like, oh, I haven't talked to a pretty girl in a long time.
Oh, man, that's rough. Yeah.
I'm going to
telling you.
answer. I would love to come over for dinner, actually. What are you guys cooking?
I wish I could see evidence in real time of somebody that was this gullible receiving one of those texts and engaging from beginning to the end of scam. I would love to just
Yeah.
Be
I'd love to. We
on the
should
wall
have a
with that.
guest on who's been like scammed like that and went through like a whole journey, and then have them in if they want to talk about it. Like that would be an interesting.
I would do that. I would love that guest.
Yeah, and we would
I would prefer that guest than a famous person. Like, I would just need psychologically. I would want to know at every step. You didn't think to stop here. You didn't think to stop here.
You kept going.
You kept going.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, there's like the mass text scams that's like they're just so obviously fake, and then there's people that go like the extra mile. Like I heard of this one guy that I went to college with, and he was involved in a Snapchat scam where they like took a photo because there's a green screen feature on Snapchat, and you can like put in a photo from your camera roll. So he was using so like the scammer is using photos of like girls that were hot in college or whatever, adding guys on Snapchat, and then getting them to send nudes, and then blackmailing them for the nudes.
That's
Being like, I'll send this to, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, in a DM.
But his parents had already seen his junk.
Yeah, but like when he was an infant.
Right. Well, it just doesn't seem like that big of a scam. If someone was like, "Oh, I got pictures of your dick."
Well, like, how would you-
I'll show it to your mom. I'll be like, "All right, she's seen it at some point. Maybe not erect."
But like,
that
what if they like
wouldn't bother me.
posted it though?
Well, if they posted
They're like,
it,
"Oh, I threatened to send this in
post
post."
it, yes, but I'm just saying, but threaten to send it to my parents. I mean, send it.
Well, Joseph, some people have more wholesome relationships with their parents.
I do. I've told you I'm wholesome with parents. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm just saying I know that's not going to be what's going to blackmail me. You got to go harder than just my parents.
You gotta go harder.
Yeah,
You gotta buy the full billboard.
yeah. If you want to talk about a billboard or show it to Skylar, yeah, I might be. You got me blackmailed.
What if
but
it's like, you're
show
like,
my mom my dick? Oh, big deal. She saw it when I was fucking 0.
she made it.
Yeah, she made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, but like if it was like all like maybe like a bunch of your respected colleagues that are like you follow on Instagram.
yeah, it
Because they
depends.
can see who you interact with most.
Again,
probably.
depends which colleagues, but yeah.
Some colleagues are like, yeah, I might as well.
Is
spend
there
time
anybody
directly.
that you'd be like fine with if they blackmailed you?
Seen nudes?
Yeah.
of mine?
Like, is there people you'd be like, whatever?
I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of my nudes work.
Yeah. So you're
nudes work.
So because if you're taking a picture, you're making sure it looks right. If you sent it, that means it looks good.
But here's
That's
another element though, is that like if you're in a relationship and you sent nudes.
By the way, my girl could blackmail me. She will take pictures of me when I'm sometimes pissing or just waking up in the morning. I'm like, that's not okay. Delete that fucking picture. I don't. That's not what I want out there right now.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, puff me up, then take a pic. Don't fucking get me what.
me up.
Well, I'm just saying, don't take a picture when I just waking up, putting on nothing. So that she could blackmail me for sure. But if you're right, if the nude looks right, hey, for everyone.
Yeah. Guess that's good.
What's the next topic? I'm excited.
Okay, so we're talking a little bit about secret cameras, Apple AirTags. The ability to track people now has become easier than ever.
Yup.
What do you guys think about that? What do you think about,
Well, didn't you say there was a guy who found an AirTag in his bag, and he found out
Yes.
his wife put it there without him knowing to track him?
Yes, he went on a he was going on a bachelor trip, and when he was at the airport, he got a notification that he was being tracked, and he was like, "What does that mean?" Like, because you know how your phone will alert you now that if there's an Apple tag that's in your luggage or in your car or whatever, like you'll get a notification that you're being tracked. So he figures out when he gets to his location that the wife had like put it in his luggage, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like she's tracking me."
Although it's weird because he was on a bachelor trip. She knew where he was already. So what was she hoping to find out? Like,
Oh, she was getting granular.
what is that? You mean just like
She wanted to know precise location.
every little
Well,
spot?
that-
Yeah.
Any
Although your luggage isn't going
anytime
with
you
you.
have anytime you have a woman or a guy for that matter that's resorting to AirTags, the relationship's already over. It's just a matter of time anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a more romantic actually AirTag story.
Ooh, let's hear it.
No, I really do. I think the worst disagreement I ever had with my now wife. We were not married at the time. We were in another country, and for lack of details, I decided to go stay in another hotel, and we were supposed to still schedule to fly out together the next day. So that was kind of getting weird too. And we were texting back and forth though, kind of like, I regret, the conversation or whatever. But, I have a real serious rule when I'm traveling, especially abroad, out of the country. We don't fight while we're spending the money.
Right. That's a good rule.
I am very serious. I'm like,
wait, that's interesting. Can you elaborate? What does that mean? I mean, I know what you mean, but I just want to hear
typically,
you say it.
Most people won't be that cognizant of it, but typically, if you're having this great day in Italy or this sick day in Greece, you're probably spending a lot of money on this day. There's a boat involved that was rented. There's this amazing restaurant that you're going to, this hotel or resort where you're staying. You could be $3, $4, $5 to $15,000 in the hole on 2 or 3 days.
That's a great
that
rule.
are supposed to be amazing days in your life, and you're going to ruin it with some kind of petty argument that you could finish back home when you're not spending the money. Right. So
that's a great rule.
So if we're not getting along or something like that, I'm like, hey, listen, you know what? If you're that pissed with me, take my credit card, go buy yourself something nice. Not something that I would hate you, but order something up, get yourself a massage. If you're that pissed with me, take it out on the spa, and I'll see you back at home. We'll talk about this, right?
Yeah.
But at the time, we just wouldn't let the issue, whatever it was. I remember what it was. Wouldn't let it go, and so I was like, I'm going to stay at another hotel. And I was in Paris, and when I'm in a place like Paris, like I want to eat well, so I went to a great restaurant by myself.
So you basically were like, you're not ruining it for me.
Yeah.
Let me go to a different spot.
I got 24 hours in Paris. Like I'm not about to spend 24 hours in Paris bickering. So I went to a great restaurant. I rented a bike. I rode around I like going bicycling in Paris. And I went for a swim. And by the time I woke up the next morning, I had a text message. It was like, "What room are you in?" And I'm like, "What room am I in? I didn't tell you what hotel I was going to." And so I just said, which room I was in. And she showed up at my doorstep, and she had an amazing box of pastries and hot chocolate. And she knows I like hot chocolate. And we made up. But the bottom line was, I took the luggage that had the AirTag in it. So here I was thinking I was away and by myself, and
she knew where
and she knew where I was though the entire time. And so when I look back at that moment, I'm actually kind of proud of myself, because it was not my inclination to go do anything dirty like I may have thought about doing in my 20s.
Right.
I really just wanted peace. I wanted a good meal,
100%,
good sleep,
100%.
And I was freaking biking around Paris at night.
That's a real mature, though. Actually, like that's very mature, and also financially mature. Not everyone could just go and say, you know what, we're not getting along. I'm getting another hotel. Imagine you giving that advice to people. Hey, when you have a problem with your girlfriend on a trip and you don't want to fight, just get another hotel.
Hey,
but that's great. But it also makes sense. The metaphor still works, even if you can't get a new hotel.
You gotta use money to protect yourself from yourself.
Oh my God, you're dropping a lot of bars today. That's fucking great, man. No, I love that. That makes so much. Do you think in your 20s, let's say you could still go get another hotel, do the whole thing, you would have? That was how you responded. You were like, "Oh man, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna go cheat, or I'm gonna go."
I'd have gone out for a bigger night. Like there's just people I know in the city that would be like, "Yo, where we going? We going to the hottest club? We going
right?
You
were just like, I want a bicycle.
We meet new ones. We taking them out to eat at 3 o'clock in the morning. Whatever happens. Yeah. That's where my mindset just would have been. And I'm saying at this particular age, I really was just kind of like, I want peace in Paris.
Peace in
Paris. Bye-bye.
Yeah, 20s it was the nightclub. Yeah. 30s and 40s, you're like, I just want to go bicycling and have a nice pastry
and I'm just
by
happy,
myself.
I'm just happy she caught on to that. I really, really am. Like, it meant a lot to me that within 24 hours, she was like, this dude really just wants peace. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't invite the trouble into the hotel room.
That's two mature people, and that's why the relationship worked.
Yeah. No, it was a huge, pivotal moment.
Yeah, that's cool.
In our relationship. For me, at least.
Yeah, no. I think I'm sure for both of you. And you're married, so that really says it all. I love that.
How far were you guys into dating that happened?
Oh wow, we were probably, let's see, it was summertime, so we were probably about 8 months into it.
Ooh, that's early. So a fight like that,
that's early, yeah.
6 to 8 months.
Way.
So it was that moment where it was just
that's
like,
pivotal.
Oh, this shit is rap. This shit's like I was for 24 hours. It was like this shit is a rap.
That's pivotal.
This shit is a rap. She can get her own Uber when we get home. Like,
oh wow.
The thing is, she can afford all of her.
Yeah.
That was the funniest part about the whole disagreement was I never had a disagreement with a woman out of the country who did not need me financially in any way. So, she and I, we could argue in Antarctica. She can fly herself up out of there without my help. So it's interesting how that evens the scales.
It does.
Of a disagreement when you have to both acknowledge, I don't need you. I don't need you either. I want you. Well, I want you too.
Yeah, right.
How are we going to make that work?
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like it does add to it because you're in a fight with someone and you're not really feeling like she's taking advantage of you because she doesn't need you financially. So she's not even being ungrateful because she's like, I can afford this trip by myself without you. So
100%.
That does even the playing field. That's
100%. So anyway, that's my greatest AirTag story.
That's a cute AirTag story. Because some of them are a little creepy.
Yeah.
Some AirTag stories are really. But going on to kind of like just even with
and she never let me know either.
Oh.
So she never let me know
until she showed up.
Well, she didn't show up with attitude. She showed up.
No, I know. But
gifts.
Did you wonder? You must have asked her how you found me.
No,
right?
I realized it quickly.
Oh.
Once she said she was downstairs.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like, how the heck would she? Like, I immediately went into spy versus spy mode in myself, and I was like, I've been found.
Yeah.
Where? And,
yeah.
And then I realized that I had the bag that had the AirTag, so we never even needed to discuss it. It was those pastries and hot chocolate that won me over at 6:30 in the morning.
I know, sugar. You and the sugar. Hot chocolate, that's the easiest way to get out of a fight with you, and some churros.
I'm a cheap daddy.
And some Skittles. My girl didn't know what now or laters were? I bet you Chloe, they definitely don't know, but...
Depending on what neighborhood you grew up in, you might not know what now and laters are.
It's interesting. I thought now and laters were famous, and I don't see them anymore, but I definitely know them. Do you think there's a candy you could stump me on? Because you're a candy guy.
Ooh.
And I'll be honest, if I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard
I'll
of it.
describe
You've
it.
never heard of now and laters?
If my girlfriend hasn't heard of it, how could she have heard of it?
Scotto, you've never heard of now?
Of course not. They don't have now and laters in the Palisades. They're forbidden there.
Red 40's been banned for 20 years.
They're forbidden. First of all, it's the worst candy you could ever have in terms of just health, but I'm just saying, of course they're not. I don't even think they're allowed in L.A. They're not vegan.
That's wild.
But why are you... But I just told you my girl never heard them, so you know that, and she's a little bit older than them.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Wow.
So just see if you could stump me on a candy real quick that you think I might not know. You're probably impressed I know
they
now.
They could probably stump you on a candy, Chloe and Skylar.
Well, that's new. New, but I'm more... Yeah.
Old candy, you're going to know everything. My favorite candy growing up were Dorval sour straws.
I don't know if I ever had those.
You've never had Dorval strawberry sour straws.
You said Duval?
Dorval.
Oh. Duval. No, I don't think I have. Straws?
Yes.
No, you got me. Boom.
Bingo. They're typically called Sour Power, but Dorval makes the best
maybe
ones.
can I look at them? Oh, yes, I've had those. Okay. I didn't know that was the name of them though. Okay, but I've had those.
I used to sell them as a kid.
Oh so, yeah. No, those
I talk about in my book.
Those were amazing. Those were amazing. Yeah, now or later.
They used to sell them at the liquor store for 10 cents each.
Oh, I'm sure.
With the little white tongs.
I used to have my candy as a kid was peppermint patties.
Smarties. Oh, I love Smarties. I can never get enough of those while trick or treating. Fish. Oh, I hate Swedish Fish.
What? I love Swedish Fish.
You love Swedish Fish?
I like Swedish Fish too.
I love Swedish Fish.
Swedish Fish is the shit. I like that. Did you ever eat whatchamacallits or peppermint patties or Musketeers? I love Musketeers.
Oh, those are old candies right there. Whatchamacallit.
Is that all right? Damn.
Ooh, I'm a Good and Plenty. I like those growing up.
What's a good new...
I'm more Mike and Ike's.
Really?
I'm more Mike and Ike's.
I like liquor. I really love black licorice.
You love black licorice?
Mm-hmm. That's like my favorite candy of all
What
candies.
is it with certain girls who just have
black
a thing for
licorice.
black man? If you can find a girl who loves black licorice and just give her that. Oh man,
that's sick.
It's like giving a treat to a
you
golden
like
retriever.
I love black licorice. So I just love licorice in general.
What do you love about it?
I don't know. It's like kind of
like
minty.
Tar.
No, it's kind of minty.
We should all try it on the show. But that's one of the worst.
That's a great analogy. It's a black licorice is like tar.
I remember that as a kid and being like, why would you do this to me? Oh, that's like giving a kid.
Like
I'd have to say the candy that I hated the most was Tootsie Roll Pops. No, sorry. The candy I hated the most were just Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, I don't like Tootsie
Rolls.
Oh,
the little brown ones. Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
that was the cheapest, worst candy you could receive while trick or treating.
Do you have a favorite one? You said Swedish Fish, but
Swedish Fish. I'm a Sour Patch Kids Milky Way guy.
Oh, Milky Way, that's solid.
Nerds.
Oh, Nerds.
Oh, Nerds
wow.
were
yeah,
good.
Nerds were good.
Nerds and Nerd Ropes.
Fruit roll-ups. I was did you like fruit roll-ups? I love.
My mom would not allow fruit roll-ups in our house.
But why? But nerds?
Sweet.
Well, I would
ropes.
get them out.
Oh, get them out. Yeah,
Get
yeah.
'em out.
No, you're right. My mom was strict too.
So I wasn't gonna buy a fruit roll-up on my own out in the streets.
Nerds were It was a lethal. That'd probably kill you in a week. Those are horrible.
What were those candy? Oh,
My
the
mom used to say-
Fun dip.
Oh yeah.
Fun dip.
Fun dip.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
Fun dip.
I used to like when I would go trick or treating. Like if I got a fun dip, like I would just like pause. You got to get it out and start scooping it and eat it. Oh my gosh.
The worst part about Fun Dip though is there's no hiding that you had it.
Right.
So like if you've just gone crazy with Fun Dip, as soon as you see your parents, you'll be like, "What have you been eating?"
What about-
It's all on your tongue. It's all on your lips. It's
like you're instantly busted.
Airheads.
Ooh, Airheads are good.
Do you remember Airheads?
I remember.
Remember the white one? That was like a special one. You didn't
Oh, it was
see
the
that
mystery one.
The mystery one.
The
Yeah, that was
mystery
the
Airhead.
shit. Airheads were the shit. You never
Okay.
had Airheads?
If you go like this and you can make them like
Change colors.
no, not change colors. Like you can because you know how they're like kind of like long like this big or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You can like shake them and they'll get condensed and become like a.
I love that.
That could be
cotton
taken in
candy.
so many
My
ways.
mom was pretty strict with that stuff though. If I said like I wanted a Starburst, she was like, "I want you to go eat a crayon." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She knew how bad that shit was early. Well, okay. So what was the next topic? We got lost on candy.
Oh well, yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit about
What are the different ways?
what are the different ways you can track your significant others. We kind of went over that a little bit, but would you allow your significant other to have like your location? Because there's like snap maps.
I don't mind
like
having my
360.
location. Because also a safety thing too.
What are different ways you can track your significant other?
The kids have been using snap maps, but there's Life 360.
Yeah, my daughter was teaching me about that one.
Oh yeah, Life 360 though is like really crazy because it's like all encompassing. You can see like how fast your kid's going. So like if they're like driving and they're like going above the speed limit or something like that, then like your parent can be like, hey, slow down or whatever. And then there's Find My iPhone, which is like the obvious one that comes with Apple. And I have that shared with like 30 people, like my location.
Really?
Okay.
Why?
I think that's a good thing for a woman, actually.
Yeah.
No, it probably is, but why 30? What's
it's like-
30?
She's got 30 people she trusts.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they just all know where you are. I see.
Like my parents and then like basically all my friends. And then also it's fun to see like just
Where your
everybody
friends
is.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that. That's cool.
It sometimes causes problems. I mean, when I was like in high school, if I saw everybody's little locations at somebody's house and I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, that could be a big.
The one that I
thing.
like is I saw that there's a shoe that's out right now that you could put a tracking device in the sole of the shoe for your kids, and I love that one. One I love, because that's just like that's a dream scenario if somebody were to try to snatch your kid and it's like, we about to F this dude up.
Oh my
so
God.
bad. Like if you
Yeah.
have not removed his shoes, dog, we are Gucci right
Oh
now.
my God.
And you are in a world of hurt.
Smart Soul, the
Isn't that
Angel
cool?
Sense, or the Gyobit, offering peace of mind for parents.
I don't know which one is more popular, but that I like. You know, when you're talking about kids, you know, being able to track your kid in this day and age as opposed to worry about, you know, them getting snatched, you know, if they're on a field trip or they're away with people that you don't know quite as well.
Yeah.
That I like. Adults tracking each other, I'm not so big on that one. I had a girl I was involved with one time try to share, you know, say, hey, let's, you know, here's my location.
Yeah.
She just volunteered it one day. It was like, just wanted you to know, you can, you know, you can follow me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. It certainly wasn't my inclination to be like, well, you can follow me.
Right.
I just feel like it fuels the imagination about things that may or may not even be taking place, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But it was worse when 3 months later she stopped. So she cut off my ability to track.
It said stop sharing location.
She stopped
with you.
sharing her location.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
then,
when you know
so
something
then
shady's happening.
that was like, well, wait a minute. We never discussed it. You just offered it to me, and now 3 months later, I'm supposed to be dumb enough to not notice that you've stopped sharing your location.
Yeah.
So that kind of let me know. That was like actually the beginning of letting me know that it was like she was
Right.
She was testing me.
Right.
I obviously had failed the test, and then she was already headed down the road.
Did you ask her like, oh, did you confront her? Were you just
Oh
like,
no, and
blocked?
I did the typical thing where I think a lot of times when couples have arguments or disagreements, they're not about the argument in that moment.
Right.
You've used something to create a confrontation, but really it's about something they may have done several hours ago, several days ago, or whatnot, and then it starts to come out. So I'm guilty of that, where it was just like, you know what, we're having some issues, but I think it goes all the way back to when you started sharing your location with me, and then you just surprisingly just stopped doing that one day. You bring it up, a month later.
Yeah. No, that's.
What was the thing that we were talking about about the second families and everything like that? Was that
just about how now with the amount of surveillance that we can, technically we have on each other and stuff like that. Like, it blows my mind that still people are able to cheat just as easily. Like, even though you could have somebody's location, they could just be like, oh, I'm sorry.
So we've all known, I'm sure we've all heard stories about people having second families, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I know people who have had second families. They find out like their father, their grandfather have a whole other family with kids down the block. Now, 30 years ago with just landlines, even though that's still hard to pull off, and you also got to be in a certain financial position.
Not necessarily.
Well, no, I'm not saying not necessarily. I'm just saying it helps. But you could do it back in the day, right? That would be easy enough to do. But now, if you could pull that off in 2025, have a second family,
you're a spy.
You're
a full-blown spy.
Yeah.
It's not moral, but you have a gift. You are pulling something off. I'm just saying, because I can't even think about the idea. Like, let me just preface this with, I don't condone cheating, wouldn't want to cheat, obviously all that stuff. But if you can, the idea of cheating now, it's exhausting that you could pull that off. You know how much trouble you'd have to go through? I don't know how people do it, to be honest with you. I don't know. You have to be hiding your phone, doing it. There's so much shit.
I think if you're doing it to that degree like that, too, though, you want to be caught. I think that's you know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you really, if you really live in the Usher song, Hand in Hand in the Beverly Center, not giving a damn, in 2025, man, that's just your way of not being able to send the text or make the phone call.
Right. There might be some like that, but there's probably some who want to keep the wife at home and still do their extracurricular activities and really don't want to fuck something up.
When I say want to be caught, though, I'm just saying subconsciously you don't give an F. And you want the inevitable, implosion of this to just let everything land where it lands.
Right. Or you're just not worried about the fallout. If you're like, an NBA player married, you're just going to do your thing and you're like, if I get caught, I get caught. What's she going to do? Leave? Come on. That's what they're thinking.
That's a level of arrogance I just can't relate to.
Oh, yes. And there's a lot, let's face it. And there's a lot of those guys in that world where it's like they're portrayed as the family man, but we all know they're fucking doing everything under the sun. But it's like, I'm just amazed. Yeah, if you're not worried about it, the fallout, then yeah, maybe it's not that big of trouble. But I'm just talking about the people who are trying to hide a second family in 2025 with all these things, AirTags, knowing locations, social media. It seems impossible. I think back in the day, you could do it your whole life and maybe not get caught.
From the moment you hit a main street leaving your house, and depending on your neighborhood, from the moment you pull out of your driveway, you are being tracked.
Yeah.
So there really is only the illusion of privacy, to be quite honest. That's why it's like, why add to that paranoia?
Oh, yeah.
And add specific locations if you're not dealing with minors or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Overall safety. But I will say that. I'm like, even if my daughter wasn't comfortable sharing her location with me as an adult, I would still encourage her. I was like, find a few people, though, that always would know where you were if you were gone for a couple of days. And, can I interest you, honey, in these shoes?
And what about these shoes?
Yeah.
I wonder, I see
my 24-year-old daughter wearing shoes with AirTags in the soles.
Hilarious.
No, but that's true. It's very safe for women.
Waiting for the day that there's like a Nike Jordan collab X Apple AirTag, now style meets safety. Like, that'll be the day.
That'd be dope, though.
I like that.
That'd be
I would
cool.
definitely buy my daughter some J's if they had an AirTag in the sole.
The Jordan AirTags.
Well, too, like, I feel like another thing in terms of just being a woman, too, like, before I ever go, because, now, like, online dating, which you guys are thankfully free of.
I am adamantly against. I can't get down with it.
But, like, if you were to go on a date, a lot of times what my friends and I will do is like if I'm like, oh, you know, like one of my friends like I'm going on a Hinge date tonight, like I'm gonna share my location with you, like, you know, in case like I get like kidnapped or
sense.
whatever.
Right.
It makes total sense. Like I think it's actually like,
you know, not to just interject, but to hold your thought is that I know a girl who went on a Hinge date, and when she got there was another guy there, and she stayed.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait.
There was a second guy there for whatever. I don't know where they met. I don't think it was a restaurant. And she and I'm listening to the
unbeknownst to
story.
her, it was a twofer.
Yes, but the fact that she was like, "Oh, I hung out," and I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" Like, imagine you match with someone and you show up and I don't know where. Again, it wasn't like a restaurant. It was like they met for some kind of activity, and then there was just a second dude there and met.
I would leave. I would be like, this is
it
not what I
also
signed
doesn't
up
feel
for.
safe. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, what was the were they at like a public place?
I have no. Yeah, it was something. I don't know what it was. It was certainly not a place you just. I don't know. It wasn't like so public where it seemed. I don't remember, but I know being on like fucking Raya. Did you ever do Raya? Back in. But
I have a friend who finished Raya like a video game.
There you go.
That's how many people.
Because you see
dated.
the same. But you do. Anyone at Raya, I want my money back. I'll tell you that right now. I paid like whatever it was, $15, $20 a month. I believe fucking Raya is a scam.
What?
I believe that.
You're going hard.
Let me tell you why I believe that. Because you pay for this service. Here's the one thing. I see repeats of people, number one. So obviously, what are we doing? I have my distance set up. I'm seeing girls in Dubai, Paris. And yet, my girlfriend, who I DM'd on Instagram, she was on Raya. We were in the same distance. Never saw each other. So I almost believe, and it might not just be Raya, but other dating sites, maybe if they know you could be compatible, given what you say, maybe we won't show you that person. Because let's face it, once you're off,
you lose
they
a customer.
lose business. You lose customer. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm seeing a girl in fucking Paris for some insane reason, and that's not even the setup that I did distance-wise, but I don't see someone in the fucking valley. Something's not adding up. So,
I'm sure each dating platform has its own algorithm hack for what they try to extend, the experience that they try to extend. The one thing about Raya, I have to say, that it seemed pretty cool in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, Raya seemed pretty cool.
Right.
But it got to the point of becoming a status symbol.
Right.
And whether or not you could get on. And once you turn something into a shallow status symbol, then it makes the wrong people with bad intentions want to get on. Like I will say if you're publicly known.
Yes, I know where you're going.
I just would have never put myself on a dating site. I just never. I'm inviting a shits and giggles match. Like, oh my God, you'll never believe. And just from gate, it was always, I was just a mark. And it's just, shits and giggle.
Yeah.
So the concept behind Raya, that it was like, hey, you have been vetted. So both people have some kind of reputation that they like to protect.
Right.
Was I thought it was pretty altruistic
in the beginning.
In the beginning.
And then it became,
and you can't screenshot the profile either.
And it became like a free-for-all.
Exactly. But then once it becomes, wait a minute, I'm not good enough to be on that app. I got to find somebody to get. It became a challenge of
because you have to get the referral and stuff like that to get on.
An exclusive club to become a member of. Then you just have certain people, man, that are going to make it it's going to become their priority to get on this thing, no matter what their intentions really are.
Right.
But why was I seeing a girl in Dubai?
That's one of the cons, is that you can't filter your location, which is just like kind of ridiculous.
Well,
and I mean, it's $25 a month.
I don't think you should worry about, though. If she was in Dubai, she was well taken care of. She ain't need you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm not worried about it. I just didn't.
Leave that one alone, Joseph.
I wasn't gonna do anything. I just wanted to know why I'm being, ripped off. So if they're out there, maybe they want to sponsor us and give me some of that money back.
It'd be hilarious. Do you know the guy that invented Hinge? He created the app because he was in love with this girl that he dated in college, and then he couldn't find her, and so he went to Harvard and he got his MBA in
tracking people.
In lurking. Yeah. But he made the entire Hinge app, and then to find said girl, ended up finding her in Switzerland. Like after the app had been a huge success or whatever, he got on like a bajillion Hinge dates or whatever himself, and he coerced her to leave her fiance and move in with him, and then they got married. So he used the dating app to leverage like this like
that is dope.
wealth, and then he got the girl.
Did she know the valuation of the company before or after she left her fiance?
I think she knew.
That's the good question.
I think she knew afterwards that
she
Hinge had been
okay,
pretty
so there it
popular, and
goes.
so.
Hey, whatever works.
But I
Jesus.
mean, you know, you gotta leverage. You gotta play with what your cards you got, I guess.
That's a pretty cool story, though.
Yeah, I mean,
just as a story, standalone story, it's a good cool story.
good.
What's the next topic?
oh yes, we want to talk a little bit about, since we're on the topic of lurking and locations and public figures and stuff like that. There was that huge Jocks Robbers scandal that happened with like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Carl Anthony, all those guys.
Richard Sherman just got hit, man.
Wait,
Yeah.
what happened? I missed
actual
this.
robbers came through his house.
You're talking about people.
Armed.
Oh, okay. But you're saying it's because they posted that they were not home?
Well, because their schedules are public. Like you can know, you know when they're going to be at an away game. You know when they're going to be like, you know, like.
And then and when the burglars we're talking about are like probably like these are like professional guys that are coming in.
And,
right?
and
They're not like some.
And a lot of them, to be quite honest, were from out of the country.
Yes.
Oh my God! So they like
rings of dudes coming into our country to do this.
Yes.
Whoa. That's deep.
No, you got to be careful with the posting, man. You got to.
But she's saying the schedules are just out there. You're not even posting.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you gonna do if you know you're not? I mean, does that mean you just always need, if you're that level, you need a security?
If they're that
every
level,
time.
you now need security
at your house.
At your house every time.
Yeah.
Now, are some of the people coming in so good that they might take down your security too? I mean, that's.
I didn't see any evidence other than Richard Sherman's, because they came in and they were clearly armed. The smarter gangs know not to be armed because it's a lesser offense, believe it or not, to break into somebody's home and not be armed.
Right, that makes sense.
You're practically out on the street in 10 days or whatever the frick it is. That's disgusting in itself.
Yeah.
But the smarter ones, the clever, home entry cats, they know that caveat. If you are entering with armed, with weaponry, that carries a heavier offense depending on where it's being carried out.
Right. I mean, the Joe Burrow one was like so meticulously planned. Like they found a house that was for sale that was down the road, and they were able to enter through like the vacant home into his home, got in there. There was actually security like outside the gate. There was like, but they didn't realize that there was another entry point and stuff. They went in and took photos wearing his stuff on his bed, like this whole thing, because
they had fun. They weren't even urgent.
Oh yeah, they had fun. They like smoked a joint in his room.
And they posted this?
No, they didn't post it, but when the police eventually got them and looked through their phones, they found all these images of them like posing posing with paraphernalia and like posing with his chain and like all this.
But at
like
least
that.
that would calm me down. I'd be like, oh, this is a friendlier robbing crew. Like this is like they're kind of fans. I'd feel a little like validated as long as they didn't like shit in my bed or like fucking sniff my underwear. I'd be like, all right, these were like he's just trying on my stuff.
He's always got to go to the bottom.
I'm just saying that it wasn't something weird. It wasn't weird. I'm saying, well, what else could you do that's weird? Just trying on my chain and a couple of my clothes. That's just more like, all right, you think I'm dope.
I don't know. You just made it weird.
How is that weird? I just said that I didn't. That I'm just saying. Thankfully, they weren't doing that. What else can you? Obviously, bodily things are the weirder things you could do if you're going in someone's home. Just coming to sit on my couch and wear my chain and watch a show and enjoy my TV. I actually did know a celebrity who I don't even think it was a robber. It was just a guy who was coming into his home and he would live there and they'd see him on the security camera doing laps in the pool, and he would even take the trash out.
He would take the. That's considerate.
So I was like, he was actually, in a weird way, they did say he was helping when the guy wasn't there. He took the trash out.
It's a wild thing, though, to have to watch people on a security camera in your home.
Oh, of course.
I had a friend who got married, and we watched from his premarital party the burglars in his home.
Oh, my God.
In real time.
Yeah.
And even calling the police from out of the country, could not get the police there in time. Just had to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right.
They
had masks on, so he couldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was so surreal.
No,
just taking all of his wife's bags,
that's
everything.
horrific.
Just so surreal.
But that person was well off, I'm assuming?
Well off or not.
No,
he was doing well.
No, I'm just saying, so it seems like you need a person at the house if you're at that level, right?
He wasn't at that level where he needed a person at the house.
Okay.
But if you're an athlete and you're on the road, or you're an entertainer and people know your schedule is posted. So and so will be appearing at this casino on this date. You damn near need somebody at your crib now.
It also probably lets you know how well you're doing. Because imagine if you are always on the road.
If I was single, my guard dog game would be crazy.
Yeah.
If you got up in the house, boy, you would be devoured.
No, I know, but I'm saying, imagine it also lets you know where you're at, because I'm saying, like, in life, if you're out on the road constantly and no one thinks to break into your home, they're like, damn, they must think I'm not shit. Like, you kind of know.
Only you.
Let's not
That's
put that
so
narrative
funny.
out.
I'm just saying, they're like, God damn. They're like, man, my TV show didn't get picked up. No one's giving a fuck about what appearance I'm at. And they're like, God damn, no one's breaking into my shit.
You send that message. Don't think about me. Trust me. You only go find a couple $100 in my crib anyway. We don't keep cash like that in the house.
Listen, I'll know I've made it when someone breaks into my house, man. That's what I'm going for, that
Really?
break in the house shit.
I'll be sure to post your address.
Listen, I just want to make sure someone comes. There's going to be a security person waiting. But I just want to know that I'm doing well enough just to try on my chain and clothes.
If you can't tell, we're pretty much the opposite on every topic there is.
Well, there's a few things we agree on.
Let's see if you guys agree on this. Actually, this is a little bit
This might be the one.
segue topic. But kind of just going off of so Joe Burrow, when he got robbed and stuff like that, his relationship with Olivia Ponton, did I say that right? Taylor? I don't know. Was exposed, and he had been keeping this relationship under wraps, which is unfortunate for him, because then, he got his relationship exposed and stuff like that. Oh my God, my computer's tweaking. Okay. But, going off of that, how, in terms of being in a secret relationship, at what, have you guys heard of a hard launch versus a soft launch?
Okay, break that down. What's a hard launch and a soft launch?
So, when people are in relationships, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll announce to social media that they're in a relationship, right? At some point. So a soft launch would be maybe posting a sneaky photo of you guys at dinner and you can see their watch, or maybe
soft launch.
So it's a softer I have someone in my life.
I get that.
Versus a hard launch is you maybe with your arms around that person, being love this person so much,
right.
tagged, right? And I just am kind of wondering.
And does that mean where you are in the relationship, you think? Does that reflect that? Because if it's a soft launch, does that mean, well, we're still unsure, but hey, I'll put this out there? And then obviously hard launch means it's really...
official and real and that kind of thing. But have you guys ever done that?
Yes, I've done it, yes.
Not me, really. I mean, if you're out there and you dating, would you add anybody to your LinkedIn?
Well, remember you used to put people on your Facebook status? You'd be
oh, yeah.
relationship, and then and then you'd add the person.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like until you start making certain levels of commitment, people notice when you take all them pictures down.
Yeah.
So, Skylar over here, he's like, oh yeah, I really notice.
Every day
He's scrolling every day.
They notice when all the hand holding and the cuddling
DM or everything
start disappearing.
Everything okay?
Are you okay if with any girl you're dating or you're married now, if she has old pictures on her Instagram of her and her ex? Would you tell her to go back and delete those, or if you notice that it didn't?
I would hope that I was with somebody who just did that on their own without asking. I got done up real bad.
But do you think it's bad? I guess my question is, do you think it's bad, and Chloe weighed on this, that I'm saying if there are still pictures of her and her ex way back, does it say something? Does it not say something? Is it just someone not thinking?
It depends on how many posts. Depends on if they still follow each other. It depends on a lot of things, a lot of trust factors that are almost unquantifiable.
What do you think it says? Or
I had somebody do me really dirty one time with Instagram. Really dirty.
What happened?
This gal I was really interested in, she flew out to visit me, and she stayed at a different location. She didn't stay at my house, but I had a really, really fancy weekend planned for her, and I was proud of the weekend I curated. I did fly her out, But
imports and exports.
Yeah.
We have a little jingle for that.
But she stayed at a different location other than my house.
Did you pay for it?
For the first night? No, she was actually insistent on it. So I actually I liked it. I liked that. I was like, cool. If I got the ticket, stay where you want to stay. It's cool. Now the second night, she stayed with me.
Okay.
There were no sparks. There were no sparks.
Oh, really?
And I couldn't really understand why there were no sparks because the activity that we did was fire. It was great, right? So, again, I'm at a different age in my life now. I'm not young. So I'm just kind of like, no sparks after that. What's up? And and actually, the last day she was here, I was driving her to the airport. And by the way, I always want to get that message out there. If you live in Los Angeles and you have a guy that is either driving you to or picking you up from the airport, that is huge love signal right there.
Oh,
I agree with that.
Seriously.
LAX is a bitch, dude.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
All right? That is
I need an appreciation day for that.
I have a problem with women in LA in particular. I don't know if it's elsewhere, but in LA in particular, who cannot read that. If this guy's picking you up from the airport and dropping you off at the airport, this dude is...
I do it. I've been to LAX 15 times this year.
All right. So, I was taking her to the airport, but we stopped and we had brunch. And I actually got hit at brunch on text from another girl that I was casually dating, and I was not quite sure what we were. And she said something really, really nasty to me on text that basically would let me know, like, I know where you are and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the heck? Now I'm feeling some kind of way because this girl came out over the course of the weekend and no sparks flew. But I'm going to just take it like a gentleman. Just get you safely on the plane. You out, cool. I enjoyed the activity we did anyway. There was no hookup. But she had been tagging me all weekend.
Oh my God.
In photos. And she still had a boyfriend back home. So she was just using me to rekindle the relationship with her boyfriend back home.
Oh my God. That's horrific.
That one soured me on tagging forever. Like, I was like, you bitch.
Jesus.
And so I remember, I actually think I ended up going harder to salvage the relationship with the gal who texted me.
And you didn't send her an invoice for that ticket.
No,
Well, I would have lawyered up.
You know what? I kept it cute.
I would have lawyered
Send her
up.
the shoes.
I kept it cute. I didn't even want her to have the satisfaction of knowing that I had figured out the entirety of her mission. Yeah, she pretty much.
So were they on a break or she was
Yeah,
still?
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the arc of the story.
Okay.
That's what it was like. We had followed each other on Instagram. We'd known each other for several years. Mm-hmm. She lived in Florida. I lived in LA. I started noticing her boyfriend's pictures disappearing. Again, I'm on tour. I'm like, yo, this guy's disappearing. This guy's disappearing.
Yeah.
So
Post by post.
Right. So post by post. And she was doing it slow.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if they all go at one time, then you're like, oh, what happened?
Right. They were going slow. So, when I hit her up, it's like, hey, I don't have to bring that up. I just extend the invitation. And suddenly, out of nowhere, she was more interested in coming out to Cali. Done. Cool. I set it up nice. And so to see that I was tagged in these photos, when she got back, remember I told you there were no sparks. I just couldn't help but notice, there he is now, back in the picture. So I was like, oh, okay, I see what's up. You used a public figure to make your boyfriend wonder where you were for the weekend.
Oh my God.
That's evil.
So she did that.
Brilliantly evil.
Yeah, but
she taught me about tagging, so I learned my lesson with that shit.
So she was low-key soft launching you, or hard launching you.
Yeah,
I know. But at least thing she could have
long.
done is been slutty enough to at least hooked up with you.
Right?
God damn. She didn't go. If she's gonna go that way, go all the way.
Listen, we had a good time. It should have been a good time.
That's disappointing, man.
So, she gets to go back home and feel like she's pure.
Can I ask you a question?
And I'm like,
if she had at least given you head, would you have felt better? Would you have at least felt better about the situation? Like you would have been like, all right, you used me, but hey, it all worked out. I came.
These messages were brought to you by Chiquita Banana.
I just want to know, because I would have felt better about it. First, I would have felt bad for the boyfriend, but I would have said, well, I didn't know at the time. But I'm like, at least something, came out of the situation. But the fact that she just used you for tagging.
Listen,
just the tag, honestly, too. Like,
man.
Was it stories or is this like posts?
I'm pretty sure they were stories.
Stories are a little bit sneakier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were stories.
Yeah. Because if it was like a post, also I feel like in terms of the soft launch, hard launch thing, like stories are like softer. Like if I like see, like a story of somebody in like a hand or maybe something like that, then you're like, ooh. And if they're not tagged, I don't care who it is. I'm going to go on like an adventure. I'm going to like get my like laptop out. I'm just going to start lurking. I'm just going to say, and everybody lurks. Trademark. But
that's a good place to stop today.
I think so.
That's a great place to stop today.
It's an hour and 3 minutes.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
And if it's ever less than, that's fine too. Fine. There's no runtime on this shit.
Chloe, get us out of here.
Awesome. All right. Okay. I'll do the exit. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to Everybody Lurks. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on all social media platforms at Everybody Lurks. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, you name it. And we'll see you next time.
Diapers!
You!
Freaking weirdo.
Okay, and I'll do the intro really fast.
Diapers.
I'm gonna do the intro really fast. Okay.
I was laughing the way you.
Wait. Let me do the intro.
That was funny. I could not stop laughing. I was genuinely worried for myself.
Wait.
And then I saw you.
What's going on?
Oh, she's got to do intros. We were just shutting that.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Chloe Kaminskis, aka Chloe Monsta, along with your hosts Jaleel White and Joseph Vesey, and this is Everybody Lurks.